baseball has come out to say that there is going to be some level of spring training beginning in May, all in Arizona-based stadiums, all neutral Arizona-based stadiums.
Right.
And they're going to do spring training. They don't have a set date yet, but they project it likely to be something like May 14th or something like that.
Okay.
And a goal to start the regular season mid-May or late May to be able to do it like that. They haven't announced anything with the length of the schedule yet, but they said that 7-inning doubleheaders will be in effect, and obviously no fans. And the players are going to not be able to sit in the dugout. They actually have to sit in the stands to be able to do this too, which could make things interesting and delay it a lot. There's also some suggestions of doing the electronic umpire thing, which I know you've brought up
They did that
times.
last year in spring training, and they did it. They had it a couple of games this year before spring training was canceled with the COVID thing. I call it the COVID thing because I really don't want to talk about it anymore. But it's an interesting story, and I go over this over and over again with the major leagues. They're trying to change the wheel, and Rob Manfred, and I understand they're trying to figure out a time where they're going to bring back spring training so you can get the players back warmed up, the pitchers warmed up. Tanaka just flew back to Japan to take care of his family. You're telling Tanaka you flew all the way to Japan to come all the way back here with everything going on? That doesn't make any sense. I really think the baseball should not have another spring training. What I think they should do is pitchers and catchers should go back to Florida, go to Arizona, work their arms out, get warmed up. And the players, there's batting cages, there's other things that players could do to get warmed up for the season. The season's only going to be 90 to 100 games. They're not going to play a lot of games. There's not going to be a lot of games this year. And I know spring training is going to be, they're trying to draw people to watch it on TV. That's why they're not going to have fans in the dugouts. But I'm sure Rob Manfred and baseball are going to try to find a way to make money off the TV spring training games that they're going to be trying to put on.
Right,
TV.
especially since people are going to be desperate to watch any kind of sports at this point.
Exactly. That's why I think that when you look at the big picture, Rob Manfred is going to try to find a way to make money any way you put it or any way you slice it or dice it. So I do think it's a good idea, but I also think, when is baseball going to start? When are they planning to start? Are they really planning to start July 4th? If they're planning to start July 4th, how many games are going to be willing to play? Now, I understand baseball has said that they'll push the games all the way through November and the playoffs to start in November. If it starts in November, last November, it wasn't cold. I remember the coldest day in November was 35 degrees. It was one day in November. And it was practically...
I think that was later in November, though.
Yeah, but it was practically in the 50s and the 40s. It's still not baseball weather. It really isn't. And it could get cold. It could snow in November. It could affect a lot of playoff games. Mm-hmm. So, and having the World Series in December, does that make sense? Before Christmas time? With baseball, with football going to January when the playoffs start at the end of December, January, and then you have basketball and hockey starting. I think it's just too much sports bunched together as one. It doesn't, and I understand everybody's going to say, well, we haven't had any sports for almost a month, so why not have all these sports going on at the same time so we have too much sports? I understand. There's never too much sports. But again, when you follow all these teams and you're an analyst or how about this, or you're just a big, huge fan, why do you want to watch, and why do you want to watch baseball, hockey, football, basketball? They try to transition it from one sport to the other sport to the other sport. And then all of a sudden, after that, you have college football. You have the 4-game tournament in January and at the end of December. And then you have March Madness 2 or 3 months after that.
They're going to have that dilemma anyway, just with the way that their season ends right into football. The problem is, again, because it's later season football and more crucial NFL games and college football games, that's what could make it harder. Now, the thing is with baseball, they have their postseason games during the week, so I don't think it would be affected as much. But in terms of the viewership going that long, it's kind of a shortened season. Will it be forgotten about? Will it be prioritized? Another question.
And that's why I think Rob Manfred is trying to mix up the wheel. And I'm not going to say change the wheel because the wheel has already changed. In professional sports, go look at football, go look at baseball, go look at hockey, go look at basketball. Every single rule, there's been changes with the game, the way it's played. Next thing you know they're going to raise the basketball hoops to 15 feet because basketball, it's easier for NBA players that jam the ball, so they want to change that. So who
Point
knows?
guard's dunking now.
Who knows? I mean, you have 5'4" guys dunking the ball now, so maybe they raise the hoop. Who knows what the NBA is going to try to do?
Muggsy Bogues will make a comeback.
I don't know. I mean, with all these league-changing rules, it hasn't helped the league as much as they think it has. Now, in football, it made the game a little bit more faster, made the offense a little bit more better. But did it help the defense? Did it help the game and the schemes or way the game is played? No, it hasn't. Mm-hmm. And in baseball, I mean, all these technology changes. What did these technology changes do for baseball? Well, it had teams like the Astros and the Boston Red Sox cheat. Now, we don't know if the Boston Red Sox have cheated, but there's some thought right now, the reason why Rob Manfred has not talked about the fact that the Red Sox are in the midst of maybe being suspended or a GM being suspended or maybe never get a job again.
Dombrowski's never going to. He's already gone anyway, and he probably
never
won't
get a job again.
He probably wouldn't have gotten a job anyway, but yeah.
But just think, Dombrowski was a part of that championship team, so he won.
Right, but he also overpaid for a lot of bad contracts.
That's fine, but he won a championship. But again, you have to look at these things, these different stories that you talk about. Sports goes all back and forth. It's like ping pong, okay? You could put a spin on the ball. It doesn't mean that you're going to get it over the net. It might hit the net. It might not go over the net. So, and if it does go over the net, it doesn't mean that somebody's not going to hit it back to you and ace you. So I think that when you look at sports as a whole and the way the rules are completely changed in the big picture, it doesn't help the game. It makes the game worse. So that's why I think this spring training thing, is it Rob Manfred's worst move that we've seen so far? No. Rob Manfred's made a lot of bad moves. And that's why I think he's one of the worst commissioners in professional sports. And he's right up there. He's right up there with amongst the guys like Dana White or Roger Goodell. Because these are the guys. They're right there. They're right there. They're right there. What is the other story we're going to get into?
So that as a result of this, now Justin Turner came out with a comment in this particular shortened season to avoid the wear and tear and toll on players' bodies if they do have to play a lengthened season, either a regular length season or a lot of doubleheaders. Instead of having longer extra inning games, do an NHL shootout type thing and do a home run derby after a 10th inning.
Here's what I'm going to tell Justin Turner, because he's a professional baseball player and he should only play professional baseball. That's the only thing he should be doing. Stop trying to change the wheel, trying to make the game even more different where it doesn't make any sense. Why would you have a home run derby? And I understand fans will love that, and they can catch a lot of baseballs, and you could put your best home run hitter against the other team's best home run hitter. What happens if one of these teams don't have a home run hitter?
Right.
How does that benefit them?
It's only going to benefit certain teams, and he's on a team that's the best, I think, talent-wise in baseball.
It doesn't benefit. There are a lot of teams in the major leagues that don't have a home run hitter. Mm-hmm. So how does it benefit those teams? There are teams right now. Right now, if you look at the Red Sox, who is their home run hitter? Who's their home run hitter?
Devers, probably.
No, J.D. Martinez.
If he's on, yeah.
Yeah, J.D. Martinez is their home run hitter.
Okay.
If you go up and down the league, Tampa, who's their home run hitter?
Tampa's is probably their third baseman, or even Darno had a great year last year. They have a lot of more of the other types of hitters.
That's what I'm saying. There are some teams that you can't even name. The Yankees, you can't mention the Yankees. They got a lot. Right. They got a lot of home run hitters that can win. The Yankees will never lose. If the Yankees go to extra innings, overtime, whatever they want to call it, they would never lose. If they have Aaron Judge or Giancarlo Stanton or Gleyber Torres hitting home runs over the right field wall or left field wall. That's not fair. That's an advantage. So again, Justin Turner should not be speaking. He should not try to change the wheel or change the game. Who cares about your legs? You're making millions and millions of dollars. We don't care about your legs, your hips, or your arms. Let the doctors worry about the $1 million doctors that you have over there working for the organization, or your doctor that you're paying tons and tons of money. Who cares about your knees and your ligaments? You're making a lot of money.
Right, and I also think players now are going to be subbed out more often than usual, and especially with the Dodgers, with all the depth that they have on their team, where they can manage it a lot more. Now, obviously, we don't know what the length of the season is going to be yet, and that's going to change a lot of how teams are managed, but a lot of those teams now, they're managed based on depth, and they will situationally do things based on analytics, where you're not playing the whole game as much anymore because, again, the managers are being situational. And even Turner, who, again, used to be the best player on the Dodgers, probably 2015, 2016 in that lineup, best hitter, I should say. He's not really like that anymore now with other guys emerging, and obviously they got stardom now with Bellinger and Betts.
And I'll tell you this, and I understand that a lot of baseball fans, I'm a big baseball fan. There's a lot of big baseball fans that listen to us every single day. Shout out to Ryan Hickey, who's watching our feed right now. Great show. If you guys don't check out the Morning Boys, Ryan will fix your drop very, very soon. Ryan is the lead. He's the guy. He's our morning show. Very, very good show and talented guy. And you could definitely check out a show on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Our app's going to be out soon. Again, he has a great show, and he really puts out great content. So definitely check out the Morning Boys. But I will tell you this: the leagues as a whole, and I understand that the owners want to make more and more money. They want more and more fans to be drawn to their sport. Here's the thing: the more you change the rules, the worse you make the sport. It's always been like that. It's always been like that. And I'll tell you this right now: over the years, who likes football now, or who liked football in the 80s and the 90s? You weren't alive for the 80s and the 90s, but I guarantee you, if you did a poll right now, I would say 60 to 62% would say old football, the grinding football, the 80s and 90s football was a better time of football than it is today. Not the game as the speed of the game and the way the money has been made for football players, but really the game as a whole. Has it changed from the defense to the offensive style of games? It's changed. And not for the better, for the worse.
Again, the player types are a lot bigger, faster now, athletic types. But again, the rules really
for Speedy, it's
skew.
The line is bigger, faster, smaller.
Oh God!
There you go. Go ahead, Speedy.
Again, smaller players have gotten advantages now too. But also, again, the rules really do skew it where it's really badly towards the offensive players, and a lot of corners, a lot of pass rushers really have had trouble, again, just making good coverage and good hits on a quarterback just because, oh no, you can't hit there. Nope, you can't hold like this. They're so nitpicky now with the way it is now.
All right, Speedy, and what is the other subject we were going to get
and
into?
The last one is also baseball related. The Yankees' new pitching coach, Matt Blake, says that as a result of this potentially shortened or, again, disproportionate type season, you're going to see more pitchers on major league rosters than you'll ever see before. Now, they do have an extra roster space this year. It is a 26-man roster now, and they don't have the September call-ups anymore. But, again, he expects somewhere between 14 and 16 pitchers on a roster in comparison. Normally you see like 12 or 13. He expects that to be a new normal.
That's not new news. We all knew that was going to happen. Baseball is transitioning. And I'll tell you this right now, the starting pitcher is going to die. And what I mean by that is the league has changed and teams are changing. And the GMs are changing. They'd rather pay the top relief pitchers 3-year deals worth about $20 million than paying a starting pitcher a 7 or 8 year deal worth about $300 million. So I think the league is transitioning, and I think this, what do they call this? When they start all the reliefs, what do they call it?
Openers.
The openers. So I think you're going to see a lot of that this year, especially that the season is going to be broken down to probably 100 or 110 games. I think you're going to see a lot of teams play the opener, and I do, because you don't have to press with your pitchers, your starting pitchers, and you don't want to wear your pitchers out, especially with a short season where you expect them, and everybody's going to say, well, they pitch 162 games. If they cut it down to 100, that's better for the starting pitcher. Not necessarily.